Shalom. Back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Racha, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the bishops of the great millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations as always to the hopefully elect, the sincere believers out there listening and learning. So we just gonna jump right into it. News coming out that Kentaji Brown Jackson, now she's a Supreme Court judge, and she pretty much is saying that the First Amendment needs to be done away with. Now we know that the whole TikTok thing is going on, like they trying to ban it from being used in the United States, and their main reasoning is that it's a Chinese owned app. They're using it to spy on the American citizens, which that's all BS because the American government spies on its own citizens. The American government collects data and uses it against their own citizens. So why the hell would they care about what China is doing? See, but it's really not about Salakia. It's really not about China and what China is doing behind the scenes. It's really about taking away freedom of speech, censoring all those that speak against the mainstream narrative of the elites, and ultimately imprisoning and fining anyone who dares to speak out. That's really what it's all about. You see, so with this clip right here, she's going to pretty much say exactly that in a roundabout way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check this out and be right back.
Justice Jackson?
So my biggest concern is that your view has the First Amendment hamstringing the government in significant ways in the most important.
So she said your First Amendment views are hamstringing the government, which pretty much she's saying that this First Amendment right is holding back the government from doing what it wants to do. Now the First Amendment goes into freedom of speech. And we see what we've been seeing, that they've already been censoring speech. They're doing it on YouTube. They're doing it on multiple platforms already. We can clearly see that. But what they're trying to do is they're completely trying to, eradicate freedom of speech, man. They don't want any other narrative or any other voice to speak out against what they're doing. And of course, we know this goes into Amos, the 8th chapter, the famine of hearing the word, the way of truth shall be hidden. This is what these devils are actively trying to do. And she's an Israelite, but as Yahweh Shai said, ye are of your father, the devil. And he was speaking to, wicked Pharisees when he was saying that. You see what I'm saying? So in today, modern day Babylon, you even have our people that are coming in the spirit of Hashatan, okay, that are doing the bidding of Satan. See? But, this is what they want to do. And ultimately, they are going to accomplish this because this is ultimately the will of Yahweh Bashmel Shai. That the truth be hidden, that the Bible be outlawed, that the way of truth be hidden. You see, because the time to get this truth and, get the understanding is now. See, there's going to come a time where the Lord is not going to be able to be found. See, people are going to seek for the truth and they're not going to find it because while it was freely available, they disregarded it. They treated it like it was, burnt piece of bacon, man. People don't regard the truth now because it's just out here. But when it's not out here, what I'm saying, when you don't have men on the streets and on the YouTube, teaching and preaching, that's when you're going to realize that, damn, what they were saying was really valuable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should have listened, but by then it's going to be too late, man. See, but actively right now, TikTok is just a Trojan horse being used to ban free speech. Let's continue.
Time periods. What would you have the government do? I've heard you say a couple times that the government can post its own speech, but in my hypothetical, kids, this is not safe, don't do it, is not going to get it done. And so I guess some might say that the government actually has a duty to take steps to protect the citizens of this country. And you
see that? So in the name of protecting citizens in this country, which once again, they don't give a damn about the American citizens. You can see, listen, you can observe that by the policies they're putting in place in America. Inflation is rampant. They're allowing crime to overtake these cities. You see, they've allowed pretty much paid mercenaries to come over the border so that at some point they're going to be activated to come against the American citizen. So these people are all hypocrites, man. They're all devils. You see, they say one thing, but they're actively doing another. And why are they trying to abolish the First Amendment right? Because she's a Supreme Court judge. So when they take that oath, they take an oath to what? Defend and uphold the Constitution. Now they trying to do away with it. So this further goes to show you that what they call the deep state or the shadow government, this is a real thing, because these people here, they're not acting in the interest of the very oath that they took. No, they're acting in the interest of their handlers. See, they're acting in the interest of the world banking elites, the WEF, the WHO, the WHO, all these different organizations that have came to power and have rose to prominence recently. This is who the American government is in the pockets of. Okay, they taking orders from them, and this is why you're seeing this agenda being rolled out with such force. Okay, because instead of a 2030 agenda, now it's a 2025 agenda. Now it's a right now agenda. Because Revelation 12:12 says what? The devil know he has a short time, so he's gonna come down with that great wrath. All right, and part of that great wrath is throwing your ass in jail if you speak out against the mainstream narrative. Let's continue.
Seem to be suggesting that that duty cannot manifest itself in the government encouraging or even pressuring platforms to take down harmful information. So can you help me? Because I'm really worried about that, because you've got the First Amendment operating in an environment of threatening circumstances from the government's perspective, and you're saying that the government can't interact with the source of those problems.
And Your Honor, I understand that instinct, and I guess what I tell you is the Justice.
Yeah, so this is crazy, man. But again, this is biblical prophecy that is being fulfilled. So Justice Jackson says it's time to abolish the First Amendment. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson has declared that America needs to abolish the First Amendment in order to allow the government to use its power more effectively. Now, what kind of power is she talking about? She's talking about the power to censor. She's talking about the power for the government to take complete control over all the citizens. See? Because right now there's an opposition against the agenda that's currently being set up. People know too much because of the internet. So like I mentioned before, that whole TikTok ban, that's just a Trojan horse. That's just a boogeyman for them to go for what they really want to go for. Okay, which is that mass censorship. Okay, outlawing the truth. Why you think they're passing laws that's banning Christianity, banning anybody that preaches out of the Bible? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's even certain policies that they have set up to where you're not even going to be allowed to freely preach on the streets no more. Why are these things being set up? To stop people from exposing the agenda. Okay, because that's really the biggest threat. You see, knowledge is power, man, and the more that people know, the less that these devils can control the minds of the masses, because that's really what they've done. In times past, before social media, before independent media platforms came out, people only had one source of getting information. Well, not just one. Well, it was the library, or it was the idiot box, what I'm saying, or it was the TV. See, but CNN, Fox News, all these platforms that were set up are operated by the JOOs, okay, which goes back even further to the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the elites of this world. Okay, so for years upon years, they were just pushing their narrative. They were pushing their spin on things. You look at the war in Vietnam. You look at the propaganda that was pushed during Iraq. The propaganda that was pushed in the 9/11 event. Okay, all of that on mainstream media, a certain narrative was pushed to galvanize people to basically push falsehoods to the people so that they could be in line with the interests of America. But now it's not working no more. See, now the jig is up. All right, now people know what's really going on in Ukraine. Now people know what's really going on with the whole Israel Gaza thing. You see, people are listening to Putin and what he's saying against the West. Now it's not just a one-sided narrative. Now you're getting both sides of the story, and people are concluding that America is evil as hell. You know, so that's why they gotta silence people, man. Jackson addressed Louisiana Solicitor General Benjamin Aguinaga, whose state joined Missouri in suing the Biden regime over its attempts to unconstitutionally censor speech on social media platforms during the CV pandemic.
Justice Jackson?
So my biggest concern is that your view has the First Amendment
Okay, yeah, so we just watched that, Salakia. You know what I'm saying? But it says here, Aguinaga suggested that the government could use the bully pulpit to push back against the content of the information, but could not call the social media platforms to encourage them or coerce them to take down the information. Jackson objected, saying that it was not enough to say that the government could post its own speech. There were situations, she suggested, in which the government could encourage or require this kind of censorship necessary for public safety. See, so in the name of peace and safety, okay, they want to cut off your ability to speak freely. So you see how much BS that these devils are on, man. Okay, in the name of peace and safety, and what else did they push in the name of peace and safety? The juice. All right, but look at what happened behind that. Look how many people have been destroyed behind peace and safety, man. You see, and the scriptures actually say that. It says, in fact, let me get that real quick, because the scriptures say that by peace he shall destroy many, and that's exactly what this devil is doing. Yeah, Daniel 8:25. It says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. See, so they're saying this is necessary for public safety. But really, what is it all about? It's really to destroy people, man. This is being set up as a stumbling block to lead more people astray and ultimately to hide the way of truth. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, Yahweh Shai, but he shall be broken without hand. Yeah, so Esau, he's coming with all the BS. You see, he's not holding back. And the thing about it is now, his narrative don't even make sense. The narrative that's being pushed by the mainstream does not even make sense. But they don't care, because who cares if it doesn't make sense? To them, what are you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? Like to them, like okay, our narrative, 1 + 1 don't equal 2. But what are you gonna do about it? We got the guns, we got the military, we got the National Guard, we got diseases, pent up inside labs that are waiting to be released. So really, to them, there is no opposition. So they can push whatever BS that they want to push. You see, but it's gonna come a certain point where this devil, the Most High is going to raise up a standard against him, okay, and all of his lies are going to be expounded, man. Which we're seeing that right now. That these devils, they have lost control of the narrative, so this is why they have to shut down the internet. See, yeah. So that's pretty much it for that. Y'all get the point. But look, man, just know that mass censorship is coming. The internet is going to be shut down. There is going to be a blackout, cyber attack induced. We'll see what happens, but we know that this is coming. And this is all in the name of peace and safety. So moving on, okay, Putin is pretty much green light in World War III. When I did an article a couple weeks ago that pretty much all world leaders, they were supposed to come together and negotiate peace, but they pretty much all said that peace is off the table. You see? Peace is not even an option for these leaders, man. Like war is on the table. So we know that the scriptures say that man's goings are of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own way? So the Lord has put his spirit on these kings, on these particular leaders to carry out his will. Okay, which the will of the Lord is war. Okay, it's World War III. This is what we see. You know what I'm saying? We can just say it. World War III is already started. World War III is already on and popping. It just hasn't got to the point where nuclear missiles are being flown. But you'll see that World War III is already started because, France, England, America, they have troops inside Ukraine. You see? And that's a direct violation of the treaty that the former USSR, Russia, and the NATO nations had. The fact that they have their troops fighting in Ukraine, that's a direct violation. So Putin is pretty much like, listen, World War III is inevitable. You see what I'm saying? Like, there is no going back because the West, they keep on poking the bear. They keep on pushing. So, we have no choice. But let's check this out real quick.
Я думаю, что все возможно в современном мире, но я уже говорил, и это понятно для всех, что это будет в одном шаге от полномасштабной Третьей мировой войны. Думаю, что в этом вряд ли кто-нибудь заинтересован. Военнослужащая стран НАТО там присутствует, мы же знаем. Мы слышим и французскую речь, там, и английскую речь. Ничего хорошего в этом нет, прежде всего для них, потому что они погибают. И в большом количестве. Вот.
See that? So he pretty much let it be known that NATO soldiers are being offed in Ukraine in large numbers. So the narrative that they're trying to put out there about Ukraine of, oh yeah, we can win this Ukraine war. All we got to do is just keep on funding Ukraine, keep sending money, keep sending arms, keep sending soldiers over there, and we can win. We can beat evil Russia. But what's really happening is that Ukraine, since the very beginning, 4 months into the war, was done. You see, Ukraine was done 4 months into the war. The only reason why that war is still going on is because America and the NATO nations are funding it. You see, but that's a lost cause, man. So that's why Putin can say with confidence that, look, and he even said it in that Tucker Carlson interview where he was like, you don't got nothing better to do than to fight in Ukraine. Look at the border. Look at your debt. Look at the state of the American citizen. Everyone in your land is unhappy. You have more important things to worry about, Babylon, but you want to fight in Ukraine, and you're getting destroyed in Ukraine. You see, and people in the comments, they're like, he makes more sense than the Western leaders. Great man fighting the evil West. See, Western imperialism is a cancer on this world and will never end until the working class rise up and take back power that we have lost under capitalism. You see what I'm saying? So pretty much the sentiment is people are siding with Putin. And again, this goes into that controlling the narrative. You see, because when they could say that, Putin was evil and he was the boogeyman and he's trying to take away your freedoms, but no. You see, here in Putin's side, people have came to the conclusion that no, the West is the problem. America is the problem. Okay, which the scriptures call America the hammer of the whole earth. America goes around the whole earth, and any nation that rises up, they view it as a nail that needs to be, put back down. You see, but people are, by and large, siding with Putin, and this is why he just won the Russian election by 87% of the vote, because the Russian people love him. They love that Putin is a strong leader, that he opposes, Western imperialism, and that he's pretty much fair, So yeah, man. We in some dangerous time. Let's continue.
Вот, но в конечном итоге это же не наш выбор. Если кто-то хочет немножко прикрыть внутриполитические проблемы своей агрессивной внешней риторикой, ну что это известный во всем мире и часто применяемый прием. Я думаю,
And you see in that last statement, even Putin is calling out the West for their, false narratives. You see, he said that it's a trick. Hold on, let's go back a little bit. Yeah, he said this is a well-known and widely used trick. You know, yeah, you see aggressive external rhetoric. Okay, so pretty much the lies that the West has pushed for years, man. It's not working no more. You know, it's not working. It's not taking hold like it used to. That's because we're in the last days. Knowledge has greatly increased. People are running to and fro, and they're gaining that knowledge. So Esau, his strength was once being able to deceive people, but now that he can't do that, he has to come down with draconian decrees. Says Putin says total war with NATO can't be ruled out. It says here Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that a full-scale conflict with NATO cannot be ruled out at a press conference in Moscow to mark his victory in presidential elections, accompanied by allegations of manipulation. In case of a full-scale conflict with NATO, the world will be just one step away from a third world war. Putin was quoted as saying by the state agency TASS on Sunday evening, "I think it is unlikely that anyone is interested in this." According to Putin, numerous soldiers from NATO member states are already deployed in Ukraine. We already know that. He said, adding that French and English language had already been heard on the battlefield. This is nothing good, especially for them, because they are dying there in large numbers, Putin said. Ukraine has been defending itself against Russia with Western help for more than 2 years. Russia's election commission and Putin agreed Slovakia said Putin gained a record-breaking result of just under 88% of the votes. After nearly a quarter of the ballots were counted, in the previous presidential election in 2018, he had won with 76.7% of the votes. No genuine opposition candidates were allowed to stand in the 3-day vote. So this is all leading to one thing, okay? This is all leading to the inevitable third world's woe. We know the scriptures say that, behold, the second woe is past, and the third woe cometh quickly. That third woe, that third destruction is the third world's war. Let's go to Isaiah 13. It says here, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see. And we'll jump down to verse 4. It says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord, Yahweh Bashmel Shai, mustereth the host of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of the heaven. Even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. And what are the weapons of the Lord's indignation? The chariots, the heavenly hosts, the angels, okay? The weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. See that? So that that great day of judgment of Yahweh Shemel Shai is coming, but we're seeing that the buildup is already on and popping right now. You see, this is Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. See, so that's why you have this BRICS coalition. You know what I'm saying? They're really trying to make this BRICS coalition seem like it's an economic power that's rising. You know what I'm saying? Which that is part of it, but it's really a military alliance. You see, just like America got NATO. They got the Western powers, Russia and China. They got nations joined unto them. You see, and that's that BRICS uh, coalition that's going to come against the West in World War III. You see, verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down. O Lord, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, or Yahweh's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fast overflow. For their wickedness is great, multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So this day, you know, is very near. Okay. And Yahweh Bashim Shai is manifesting the end through the things that are happening within the earth. And we see that, you know, just like I brought out a couple weeks ago, these nations, they're not even talking about peace no more. Pretty much only war is on the table. They took peace off the table a long time ago. So they want this war. But ultimately, they want this war because the Lord has put it on their spirit to want war, man, for them to destroy themselves. You see, because they all going to be fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? Then when Yahweh Shah come back, it tells you about that in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. You know, while they're all fighting one another, you know, they're going to see the Son of Man come in the clouds. And then, you know, they pretty much all going to stop what they doing and they going to fight the Lord. You know, but then the Lord is going to destroy them all. You see? So these are the days that we're in. Let's get this last one, you know, because this is a big thing. And they still trying to cover this up, still not trying to release the information, even though the cat is already out the bag. People see that the juice that was pushed in 2021, that it's done nothing but ill to people, man. You know, that it's done more harm than it has good. You know, when it says in what is that, Job the 13th chapter, I believe the 4th verse, that ye are forgers of lies and physicians of no value. You know, so that goes into the CDC and the WHO. You know, and you know, all these wicked leaders that push that unto the people, man. Now this is what you have. Second professional footballer collapses with heart problems on live TV in last 2 days. You know, and we just saw that a former player for the Cowboys, you know, he dropped dead. You know, after he got the boost, you see, and countless other names, man. You know, that have succumbed to this. But look, it's only a matter of time before you really start seeing people drop by the hundreds, drop by the thousands, man. Even drop by the hundreds of thousands. See? It says fully juiced professional athletes are continuing to drop like flies, with 2 pro soccer players collapsing suddenly, clutching their hearts this weekend alone. According to mainstream media, which is doing everything it can to downplay these shocking events, the fact that thousands of pro athletes have been struck down with strokes and heart problems since 2001, I guess they meant to say 2021, is nothing but a coincidence. Okay, so then let's check this out real quick.
Let's have a look. Clears the ball. Did he pull something as he was carrying that ball? Oh. Did he pull something as he was carrying that ball?
So he just kicked the ball, then he started clutching his chest and just fell on the ground. And you know, he was deleted on the field, man. So this is what's happening to people. And what is the common denominator between all these occurrences? We already know.
Oh, what's happening here?
Doesn't look good. It just doesn't look. It just doesn't look good.
Get the medical staff on. Get them on.
Prayers. In this sort of situations, I always call for prayer.
World football, unfortunately, has been subject to so many distressing scenes on the pitch over the last few years. We're really hoping for the best up here. just waiting along with you at home to learn any new information.
Yeah, so he threw. He ain't even make it, man. See that? So, you know, this is what happens when you trust the devil, you know, because he's ultimately out to destroy you, man. You know, he's not out to give you anything for your benefit, you know, and if he is going to give you something for your benefit, there's always a catch to it. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. Hopefully, this lesson was informative and edifying to the Rakakadash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect.